Hi, I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and welcome especially if you are born under the sign of Virgo, and that's whether your sun is in Virgo or your rising sign or also your moon sign. And remember, the rising sign is also known as the ascendant, because this is your ultimate overview for everything you need to be prepared for astrologically during 2024. So basically, I'm giving you the main major headlines because there is just too much to put into a kind of short, digestible video. So basically, I've picked out several key points, but I haven't talked about every month. So remember, I do my monthlies every month, God willing and all of that, spirit willing, divine willing. This is just going to be an overview and headlines, but nevertheless, my God, what have we got this year? Because one of the things I wanted to say to you is, I don't know whether you've seen my overview for 2024 yet, the sort of the world version, because I talk at the beginning about a little bit as if the energies are going to be a little bit like going round Cape Horn. You've got two mighty oceans meeting and kind of trying to meld together, merge together. And you've got, the Atlantic on one side, you've got the Pacific on the other, and no land mass on either side of them. I mean, it's an interesting thought. And I know, from history, the sort of the sailors of old used to have great troubles navigating and actually sailing round these particular points on the globe. So is that how 2024 is going to be? Well, let's take a look. Let's start with the fact that we start off the year with a retrograde Mercury. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Well, it doesn't have to be either. It just means that because it's gone retrograde on the 13th of December, on the 13th of December in your fourth house, what this has done is it's slowed things down over Christmas and New Year. So you might have found that certain things over Christmas, New Year 2023, and maybe if you're watching this, Christmas hasn't even happened yet in 2023. So be prepared for cancellations, people not showing up, misunderstandings, and also maybe because of sickness and all the usual seasonal ailments. But there could be delays also with transport and travel because of weather. That could also be another significant kind of significator over Christmas and New Year 2023. The good news, though, is that it does go direct right on the 2nd of January. And this is in your third house of communications, Sagittarius. Now, this is good because it's the second, it's a kind of good introduction to the next year, to the new year. And Sagittarius is such a buoyant, joyful sign. It's flexible like you. So you have this flexibility and ability to communicate in a way that can be quite enlightening and innovative for people. So, Virgo, you actually, apart from making very good accountants and bookkeepers, I think you make pretty good teachers as well. So that's my general kind of feeling of that. And because it goes direct on the 2nd, then it'll be in shadow for a couple of weeks, and then we're high and dry. And then the big major news for January 2024 is about Pluto. My big outer boy, well, he's little actually, he's a dwarf planet, but my big little dwarf planet, Pluto, the planet of transformation and of, well, change in general and also of personal empowerment, moves into Aquarius in your 6th house on January the 21st. Well, Virgo, this is super cool because the 6th house by Zodiac is your house. And, you know, because you are a sign of routine and service to others. You're also a sign of good health. Health is something that's very important to you. So a lot of people born under the sign of Virgo would be nurses or carers or doctors because they can get down to the nitty-gritties of things. And with Pluto dipping its toes into Aquarius, your 6th house, on the 21st of January, it's just going in to have a little look round because it is going to wake up and revolutionize the way you do everything. And it's got 20 years to do that. So just get your heads round that, Virgo, because that is just extraordinary. And also on the 21st, as if heralding its entry into Aquarius, is the Sun. So the Sun conjunct Pluto in Aquarius on the 21st, shedding light on what might be to come. Now, the interesting thing is the Sun is like the beating heart of the solar system. It's like our soul, because without the Sun, we wouldn't be here. It's like without our heart, we wouldn't be here. So it's important. Now, Pluto is only dipping its toes in because it moves back into Capricorn in September and then finally moves fully into Aquarius at the end of November. But I'll come to those dates in a minute. So I think you will find that energies will shift for you in quite a considerable way. I think you will find it easier to allow yourself a little bit more freedom of thought, freedom of routine. I think you will actually become, in spite of Aquarius being a fixed sign, a bit more flexible. Maybe allowing your Virgo mutability to flex your psychological and intuitive side a bit more. Because this is an energy about waking up. And I think on an inner level, Virgo, you are really going to be seeing life and experiencing emotions, psychic feelings, intuition, interesting dreams, timelines, quantum kind of leaps forward in your sense of awareness and consciousness. So it's super stuff. Now let's just leap forward a couple of months because we have February. There is stuff going on. There's quite a tricky full moon, but we'll come to that nearer the time. Then we've got March, and then we have another planet of communication, Mercury, going retrograde in your 8th house, Aries, on the 1st of April, April Fool's Day. Let's hope not, because this is the house of joint finance. This is the house of pensions and investments. So Mercury retrograde could actually be timely, because maybe you are planning to make some changes to your piggy bank and how you sort out your piggy bank. And this Mercury retrograde is going to slow you down. Remember, retrogrades are all about reviewing, renewing, relooking, rethinking. So remember that, Virgo. See every kind of closed door in the cosmos as, well, as a stepping stone, as a kind of course direction. Then we come to the 8th of April, and also in your 8th house, we have a really big event. We have a new moon, total solar eclipse in your 8th house, Aries. First of all, this is the first sign of the Zodiac, so that makes it super important and super special. But it's an eclipse, but it is a new moon. So it's as if there again is action you want to take. But the eclipse energy is telling me to tell you to hold fire a bit. And I know, Virgo, you are often very cautious. Sometimes we could say ultra cautious, too cautious, over cautious. But this time I'm asking you to exercise some of that caution, because I think it will bear fruit. Then we have on the 20th, in your 9th house of higher education, travel, and, well, also it can be spiritual matters. We have this amazing conjunction between two of my big outer boys, Jupiter, the planet of luck, opportunity, expansion, and it's quite a spiritual planet. You are going to notice a spiritual element coming into your life if it's not there already. Because I think, Virgo, you're somebody who, because you analyze and you tend to overthink, you're not always able to allow your intuition to step in front of your thinking. But this year you're going to have a real kind of exploration with that, because remember, Pluto in Aquarius is there for 20 years. You won't know yourself at the end of 20 years. But anyway, this conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus, my big outer boy Uranus, our planet of the unexpected, of surprise, of shocks, of freedom, of rebellion. They are conjunct in Taurus. Collectively, I do think that this will kind of bring in a kind of heightened sense of awareness. There may be other things that happen. I'm thinking of SETI, the search for extraterrestrial life and those kind of organizations. There could well be in 2024, or certainly over the next 20 years, and I certainly hope I'm around to see it. I think we will find evidence of extraterrestrial life. It may not be in the form that we've been shown in Star Trek and, Star Wars and all of those kind of programs, but we will find signs of life. Of course there is life out there in the cosmos. How could there not be? So this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is big. And for you, I think that you are going to have a little bit of an aha awakening moment. I think you're learning your ability to take in a new topic, a new subject, will be expansive. And suddenly, where things have been so stuck and you just couldn't kind of break through, this will help you push through those barriers. We then move on to the 25th of May because Jupiter, our big planet of opportunity, luck and expansion, is going to be conjunct your MC. That means your midheaven. This is your public image. This is what puts you out there in the public eye. Even if you're shy, it'll just be something quite local and small, but you will be somehow in the position of, should you choose, being seen by the public. Because it's entering Gemini on the 25th of May, and that's your 10th house of your career, your passion, anything that you're absolutely super passionate about. And it doesn't matter if you're retired, if you're a stay-at-home carer person for a child, for an elderly relative. It's irrelevant because we all have something that we're passionate about. So you're going to have Jupiter in your 10th house, Gemini, where it's really going to be firing up your ability to communicate and your imagination for over a year. And at this point, I'm just going to plop in a little advert just to wake you up. Have you thought of a one-to-one reading with me? If not, why don't you treat yourself to one before my fees go up in February? Because they're not going to go up much. Don't panic. As long as you book by the end of January, it's the old fee. But from February, it'll be the new fee. However, what I'm offering you is a reading of your natal chart with current transits. You can ask me as many questions as you want that will fit into an hour. And also within all of this, I happen to be a dinosaur. So you send me an email, I reply, we work out the best time for us depending on our time zone. Just to give you a clue, I'm in Central Europe, so that's Central European time. I'm 6 hours in front of New York, just to give you a clue. So usually it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me. If you're East Coast, it's 10 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, as we go further west. So that just gives you a little bit of a sense. And then I send you a PayPal request. Doesn't matter if you don't have an account, you pay as a guest. And I use Skype. And again, you don't need an account. I just send you a link. It gets recorded. You download and save it. How cool is that? End of advert. So I just thought I'd plop that in before I bring to you the rather challenging piece of information that you need to mark in your calendar, which is July the 15th, because we have the planet Mars, the planet of energy, action, assertion, and sometimes accidents and anything a little bit dangerous, is conjunct my big outer boy Uranus in Taurus in your 9th house. Be very careful that day. Don't rise to the bait if somebody tries to kind of pick a fight with you. But I think also if you're traveling, be super mindful of traveling that day. Maybe that's a day off of travels. Maybe it's not the best day to choose. It may just be that you get delays that are incredibly frustrating. But there will be something around the energy to do with the 9th house that is going to be frustrating for you. It could even involve finance and economy. Then we leap forward through August, when it's very hot here, so I don't do much at all. There will be things happening in August, and I will do my monthlies, so you'll get to see them. But remember, I don't do the Zodiac individual signs, only at the moment for the year ahead. I just don't have the time to see you lovely people for appointments, as well as do everything on the video. So it's just, we have to keep it simple. So I've talked about the Mars conjunct Uranus in Taurus on July 15th. Be mindful of that. Then Pluto in Capricorn in your 5th house of fun, because it's moved retrograde from Aquarius and your 6th house in there on the 2nd of September. What Pluto is doing is going in to clear things up a bit. It's like you've had a wild party and Pluto is thinking, I think I better just go back and make sure everything has been sorted out properly. This can also be to do with creativity. So if you're working or have been working on something creative, it doesn't even have to be creative, but a project, some kind of project. And Virgo, you are I always think of Virgos as very clever and intellectual. My father was a Virgo and he was clever. I'm from my mother's side. But anyway, this kind of energy is it's helping you to transform what you've not yet fully addressed that belongs in the 5th house. Something you've been working on that really needs to transform, and that's the 2nd of September. Now, there's a lovely lunar eclipse in Pisces, your 7th house of significant relationships, on the 17th of September. And remember, a lunar eclipse is a full moon. What might need to change in September? That's what you have to think about with this energy. It might mean for some of you the end of a significant relationship or friendship. It doesn't necessarily happen on the date, but around that time. And it may mean that you decide to end a significant relationship or friendship. It can be all sorts of things. So that's the 17th of September. Now, eclipses always come in pairs. So then we move on to the solar eclipse in Libra, which of course is your 2nd house. And that's on the 2nd of October. And Libra, of course, is all about balance and harmony. And this is a new moon solar eclipse. So remember, new moons give you new opportunities, but it's an eclipse. So I would be a little bit circumspective and balanced about any offers that come your way to invest in some harebrained idea. Just be careful with your hard-earned money, Virgo. You know, if something looks too good to be true, as they say, it usually is. So bear that in mind. I thought of something funny. Maybe I will say it. I was thinking, if I look too good to be true, then I probably am. But I'm not sure if that helps me or hinders me. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to think about that. But it's me and my silly humour. I'm sorry, Virgo. Back to your chart. So Pluto goes direct in Capricorn, in your house of fun, in the 5th, on the 11th of October. And this is the last time it will be going direct in this part of your chart. So this is the last chance saloon. This is when you have to either put that project that you've been working on for years to bed, or you actually say it's done, it's ready for public consumption. That's what you have to do. And we have, of course, the entry of Pluto finally into Aquarius, which, as I mentioned, is November. And it's actually the 19th of November, and there will be a plethora of videos on YouTube by all of us astrologers about the entry of Pluto into the sign of Aquarius on the 19th of November. It's going to be super exciting what everyone's take is on it. My take is that it's all about higher consciousness. And I do think that goes for you as well, Virgo. Remember, this is your 6th house of service. Some of you could become channelers of light beings. Some of you will have just decided to switch me off because, for goodness sake, what am I talking about? You just hang on in there, Virgo. Do not be surprised by the kinds of energies that can come in this next year, 2024. It is going to be extraordinary. And it's also going to transform the way, if you are in a service profession, it's going to change the way you approach people. And it's going to change it in your attitude. And I think you will have a much more enlightened kind of sense of being about you in the way that I'm just thinking, if you were in palliative care, that you would have a much easier way with you to help someone come to terms with their end of their life. It just, that's what kind of is resonating for me. So that is big news, 19th of November. You won't be able to forget it because it'll be talked about all year. And then we have another couple of retrogrades. The next one is another Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius in your 4th house of home and family. And this, of course, is about slowing things down a bit and just kind of, taking things a little bit easy. Have I got that right? I just have to check that I've given you some correct information, because I'm just doubting what I just said. So I said that Sagittarius is your 4th house. And I'm Virgo. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it is your 4th house. I gave you some wrong information at the beginning of this video. And I said that I got them round the wrong way. Capricorn and Sagittarius with Mercury retrograde at the beginning, which is in 2023. I just got them round the wrong way. So apologies for that. It should have said Mercury retrograde in Capricorn in your 3rd house. Oh God, I'm doubting myself now. In your 4th house. I am right. I've got it wrong here. That's what I've got wrong here. So, okay, I'm clear now. I'm so sorry. So, I'm human. I get it wrong. And I want you to see that I get it wrong, because I am super, super mindful to get things right. And, it really is important, I think, for all of us that we show our vulnerabilities. Sometimes we all try to kind of, we think, oh, I must edit that bit out, or I must go back to the beginning and start from the beginning. Why? Why is it so wrong to show you my vulnerability or the fact that I can get things wrong? And, that's what I've done. Because your 1, 2, 3, 4, your 4th house is Sagittarius and your 5th house is Capricorn. Well, now we've got that established. Mars goes retrograde. Mars goes retrograde in Leo. If you're still with me, because some of you might have gone, oh my God, this woman's lost the plot. Not quite, but nearly. Mars, our planet of action, energy, and assertion, goes retrograde in Leo on the 6th of December. And this is in your 12th house. I know that for sure. I've got that bit right. I've been recording these videos for 2 days, so you can imagine my brain is a little bit scrambled. And I've also done them all in different orders to make it more like a lucky dip when they're out there to be seen. So Mars goes retrograde in Leo in your 12th house on the 6th of December, Virgo. And this is really a need for you to kind of, if you get into beating yourself up a bit, like I just did, I've just acted out what's going on in your 12th house with Mars retrograde. That is extraordinary. I'm amazed at myself. This is what happens. You go, you start beating yourself up and berating yourself for getting something wrong because it's Leo and you should get it right, because even though it's Leo and it's 12th house, it's about, you know, being on show, getting it right, showing you know everything. And of course, none of us know everything, and all of us make mistakes. And I think for Virgo, it is really difficult to make mistakes. And so maybe that's why that little event happened. Because, and if you are still here listening, good for you. Because I really appreciate that you've stuck with this. Because that's the 6th of December and it doesn't go direct until the 24th of February 2025. And it will be directing Cancer in your 11th house of important projects, hopes, wishes, dreams. So there's a lot of actually positive energy, which I'll talk about later in the year. Mercury goes direct in Sagittarius on the 15th of December. So that will be a breather around anything to do with communication and things that have been delayed, said the wrong way, completely muddled up, like I've just done in your video. I've either lost a lot of Virgo subscribers or gained a few, because I'm showing this side to you. But I'm just going to take that risk, because you know what, Virgo, do you take risks? Use this as a year to take risks, because if we don't take risks, we don't grow. The lesson for me, check my notes before I start recording. And don't allow myself to get into a burnout state. So on that note, I'm going to bring this rather extraordinary 2024 reading for you to a close. And please, if you would like to like, comment or subscribe, I'd be super grateful. And remember, interestingly, there is a downloadable, purchasable guide to learning how to read your natal chart very simply. And that's via my website for sale. And there's also Andrea's beautiful calendar that she's done for the moon, all the moon phases and the full moons and the new moons to purchase. It's not a lot of money. So if you see that and you'd like to purchase it, that would be fantastic. And if you are new to this channel, as you can see, I'm completely crazy, completely bonkers. But there we go. Some of us are. And some of the best people are, as Alice said, I think. Anyway, on that note, I better go before I completely mess things up. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.